Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, January 31st. We've got a very interesting segment for you today. Scott Christianson is with us. And Scott is our artificial intelligence expert.
All right, very good.
And today you wanted to talk about adversarial AI.
Yes, so adversarial machine learning or adversarial artificial intelligence. And this is a field of study which looks at how do you trick these algorithms. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about this new science of machine learning or AI is that the way that these machines learn is we give them lots of examples. So we train them, the training data that we give them. So for example, for an autonomous car, if we want it to know what a stop sign looks like, we just show it lots of examples of stop signs, and eventually it learns what a stop sign looks like.
That's like a baby learning.
Yes.
A human baby learning.
Yes, in some ways, but a human baby would also be able to bring in other pieces of knowledge. So, for example, knowledge about shapes, knowledge about letters. So eventually, by the time you're driving age, you've learned that things that are octagon shaped, that's one criteria, and that are red, that's another criteria, and that have the word stop on them are probably a stop sign.
So you're saying the car's intelligent?
Well, if in some examples where we're just training it by showing it lots of examples of a sign or whatever image we want it to be able to classify for us, we're not specifying the criteria. Okay, so this leads to a case that happened where a researcher found that with Google's AI for identifying stop signs, they could trick it by placing some stickers on it, and it would decide this was a right turn only sign. Now, that sense has been modified, but it's in a whole area of interest for researchers in AI. And you can imagine when we start to talk about using AI in things like aerial surveillance of different countries or different enemies in a battlefield situation, that understanding how our AI might be tricked, if we're using AI to determine where tanks are or what patterns are, it can be very critical. And in fact, the White House in the last 2 weeks has said that they would like to place some restrictions on exporting certain types of AI abroad so that people wouldn't figure out how to trick it.
Well, just the subject of artificial intelligence is somewhat mind-boggling. To think that at one point the artificial intelligence may be more intelligent than the human being itself.
It's artificial intelligence or machine learning as it stands today can be much better at pattern recognition and optimizing different processes. But as far as the kind of general intelligence, which you and I think about or hopefully have, it doesn't yet possess that. It can sometimes mimic things. So when you talk to Siri or you talk to Alexa, sometimes it seems like it's intelligent, but it's really kind of mimicking the way that a human would react.
Has artificial intelligence evolved yet to emotions?
I don't think so. Do
you think it ever will?
That's an interesting question that much smarter people have been asking for a long time. I don't think so. I am not optimistic.
Wouldn't that be somewhat dangerous if the artificial intelligence started developing emotions?
Well, I would say that what's more dangerous and what's more likely is, can an artificial intelligence or a machine learning algorithm be used to modify your emotions? So can I show you in your Facebook feed, in your social media, in some other thing that you consume, images that are going to make you happier or are going to make you sadder?
Isn't that being done right now?
Yes,
to a certain extent?
And in fact, Facebook got in real trouble because they actually ran an experiment where they tried to see if they could change people's moods based on the imagery or the feeds that they were getting. And as you know from research, you're not really supposed to experiment on people without some permission,
without them knowing
consent,
that you're experimenting on it. But that was done.
Yes,
that was done.
Yeah.
But you don't think that the artificial intelligence itself will ever evolve into emotion of love or anger or jealousy?
I personally don't. There are others that might disagree or might decide that machines will have their own type of love. So there's a famous scientist, Alan Turing. You may have heard of the Turing Test. That's a test to see whether a person can tell if the thing that they're talking to is a computer or a human. That's called the Turing Test. But he argued that computers would be able to create art, but it would be art that other computers would appreciate.
You know, I got a phone call the other day, and when it started, I actually thought it was a human being, because I answered the phone and I said hello, and there was that little 2-second pause, and I thought, oh, this is a computer. Then the person came on and she said, hello, my name is so-and-so, and I wanted to talk to you about, and I said, well, I didn't get your name. It said, oh, I'm sorry, my name is so-and-so, and she kept going, and then I was trying to trick her at that point, but she had already started her spiel, and when I tried to interrupt her again, she just kept going. Right. So I realized this was a computer calling me.
Right. So
why did she hear an answer when I said I didn't get your name?
It's probably a common response. There is a program that Google has. It's called Google Assistant, and it has been demonstrated several times to be able to do simple tasks like call a restaurant and make a reservation and interact fully with the human.
Yes.
And have multiple back and forth.
I think I have Google Assistants on the phone.
And it will even interject these little verbal tics like I use, the ums and ahs, that I'm trying to get better at getting rid of, but they will actually insert those into this computer program so that it sounds like a human.
Right.
So there's another whole ethical issue. Do you have a right to know that the thing that you're interacting with is a human or not?
So at one point, we may be talking on the phone to someone that we think is actually a human, but it's an AI that we're talking to, and it's responding to us exactly as a human would be.
Right. But the reason why that Google example didn't pass the Turing test is it only works in a very narrow field. So, for example, making a restaurant reservation. You can't then ask it about philosophy.
Right. Okay, this is all very, very interesting. I could talk to you for hours, Scott. Scott Christianson, University of Missouri, on artificial intelligence. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Will you come back again?
I would love to.
Okay, we're out of time for today. Monday, VAC and Black History Month. Something you'd like to hear or see? I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. Have a good day. That was artificial intelligence.